Hello, my name is Joy. This presentation is for the course of Leadership Theories. This is for Module 4 assignment. Some of the leadership theories we're going to discuss today is underneath the contingency theory categories. Some of the theories within that categories include contingency theory, continuum theory, path, goal, leadership theory, leadership substitute theory. Contingency theory, what this theory proposes is that the idea that the success of a leader hinges on specific situations at hand. This means that leaders may need to change their behavior to meet situational characteristics. Elements of contingency theory is that it focuses on situations, highlights the situational nature of leadership. Leaders are task-oriented or relationship-oriented, emphasizes on leaders' change as much as the situational change. Some strengths and weaknesses of contingency theory. Strengths is that the theory is supported by research. It is predictive. This approach is adaptable in a variety of settings, allows assessment of leadership aspects, shifts focus on leaders' behavior. Some of the weaknesses is that it's complex to implement, it's time-consuming, variables are not always clear, focuses only on situations and not resources and tools. Human behavior is not really taken into account. The next theory is continuum theory. Continuum theory states that leadership behavior is on a continuum from boss-centered to subordinate-centered leadership. Continuum theory presents several styles of leadership across a continuum from maximum to minimum exercise of authority. Some elements of continuum theory is autocratic leaders are more likely to make their own decisions. Democratic leaders give subordinates a greater degree of delegation and decision making. Leadership's behaviors are expressed on a continuum. The continuum range goes from task-centered to relationship-centered. 7 styles of leadership within the continuum theory is tells. This is when the leader tells. They state what the decision is not open for discussion. The next one is sells. This is when a leader makes the decision and convinces the employees that it's a good decision. The next one is suggests. This is where the leader presents the decision and asks if there are any questions. The next one is consult. This is when the leader presents a decision that is subjective to change. The next one is joins. This is where the leader states the situation, asks for suggestions, and makes the final decisions. The next one is delegates. This lets employees make decisions within set limits. The next one is abdicate. That's where teams identify the problem, they brainstorm together, and make ongoing decisions without constraints of the leader. Some advantages and disadvantages of continuum theory. Some advantages is that it provides a range of ways to interact with your team, allows for the use of different strategies for different situations, shares responsibility within your team, can promote autonomy, promotes employee development and empowerment. Some of the disadvantages is that it did not undergo extensive research testing, factors to determine leadership style is subjective, doesn't propose one correct way of managing groups, only examines the process, fails to tell what happens next, doesn't account for social and cultural norms. The next one is path goal theory. This theory is used, it selects the leadership style appropriate for the situation and to maximize performance and job satisfaction. The goal of the theory is to increase your employees' motivation, empowerment, and satisfaction so they can become more productive members of the organization. Some elements of path goal theory, it proposes 4 leadership styles. The leader is responsible for increasing followers' motivation. Motivation is increased by clarifying paths and increasing rewards. Leadership behavior is suited to the employee's needs. The 4 leadership styles in PATH goal theory is directive. The leader lets employees know what is expected and how to perform. Then you have supportive. Behavior is directed towards the employee satisfaction, shows concerns for the employee's psychological well-being. Then you have participate. This is where they involve in consulting with employees before making decisions and suggestions. Achievement oriented focuses on encouraging performance excellence by setting goals that challenge the employee. Some of the advantages and disadvantages. Advantages promotes theoretical framework for understanding the relationship between leadership behavior and employee satisfaction. Defines practical and clear roles for the leader. Goals and desired rewards are clear. Leadership style is flexible and allows for leaders to adapt to change and change based on organizational needs. Some of the disadvantages is difficult to understand, unable to determine how well the theory works in real life, places almost all of the responsibility on the leader. Subordinates are less inclined to take initiative. And the last one is leadership substitutes theory. The idea behind this theory is there are characteristics of subordinates, tasks, and organization that replace the need of a leader or neutralizes the leader's behavior. Leadership substitute theory elements makes leadership style unnecessary or redundant. Workers do not need a leader to tell them how to do their job. Motivation of the organization is to adapt self-management team models. Substitute for leadership characteristics include task, subordinate, and organization. Variables that can substitute or neutralize leadership. Characteristics of subordinates, they have ability, knowledge, experience, training, and professional. Characteristics of tasks, they're clear and routine. Characteristics of the organization, clear plans, goals, and areas of responsibility. Organizational rewards are not within the leader's control. Strengths, it recognizes the role of followers in leadership practices. More team-oriented because most of the decision processes are lateral. It promotes work empowerment. Some of the weaknesses, there is little research to support this idea. Accountability isn't always clear. Lack of guidance and support. So which theory would I implement? I think I would choose continuum theory. I see elements from all 4 that my agency can benefit from, but I think continuum theory is practices that we could implement, we can use more of. My organization is very diverse, and the continuum theory provides a wide range of ways to interact with your subordinates. My organization is unique in the way that we employ some of our clients that sometimes come with mental and learning disabilities. So as a leader, you may need to adjust your style of leadership when interacting with these employees. This style of leadership gives the leader the option to share responsibility with the team, which will promote teamwork. The continuum leadership provides autonomy by including them in the decision-making process, which will encourage them to take initiative on tasks. My organization is lacking in the area of promoting employee growth and development. And with this theory, allows managers to engage, it allows managers to gauge employees' level of task, competency, and work with them on their areas of development. Some of the sources that was used in this presentation is on this reference page. And I just want to say thank you for listening.